Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
And welcome to episode 8, if you can believe it or not, of the BJ and Bill podcast.
Even I don't believe it. Even I find it hard to imagine it's been 8. So good. But yes, cool. Glad to be here. Awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yesterday was picture day.
Right.
So we had to get the house all in shape for the ladies to come take the picture and put the sign up in front of the house. And by later today, we're doing this on a Friday, the Friday before Halloween.
Right.
I would say by the time people hear this, we should be up and running, and you should be able to go and check it out on, I don't know, whatever app you use, Realtor.com or
Realtor, Redfin, Zillow, all of those guys. Yeah.
They'll be on all those guys by the time probably this podcast is loaded.
And we had talked about this last week, and I see you took advantage. Now BJ Odom is on the gram.
Oh, I've been on the gram for a long time.
Okay. Well, your picture of you and your spouse and the house for sale showed up in the top of my feed last night as I was looking at the gram, Instagram, and I'm like, oh, look at that, the place is for sale. Good for you. So here it is, folks. Your opportunity to own a bit of history. You know, like George Washington slept here. Well, BJ Odom lived here. If you want to go and buy that house somewhere in Central Florida. So run right out right now and get to it.
Now, the problem is, I do work a Sunday air shift at a radio station, WPCV, the country station that is local here, in the area. So I might be a little known as Bubba James around here. But it was so funny because when we sold our house in Fort Myers, the couple that bought it, we went to the closing.
Right.
And I don't know how they figured it all out with last name Oda. I don't know how they figured it out. But they go, are you, probably because, I had to sign my real name, which basically BJ is in my real name.
Right.
And they go, are you BJ Odom, the guy on the radio? And I go, yeah, that was me all those years ago. They go, I can't believe we're buying your house.
It's famous. It needs a what do they call that? A plaque outside, an historical marker. Who
knows? They may have done that after we left and gave the house to them, or maybe when they found some of the little problems, maybe they said, "There's some here."
Every house comes with its problems and its issues when you move in. I mean, I was going to say any used house, but every house, any new house, any old house, it doesn't matter. They all have issues.
We got this place new, and it was a living nightmare.
You're talking about your old house in Fort Myers?
No, I'm talking about this house.
Oh, do tell, Mr. Odom, do tell.
I almost want to say the name of the company, but I don't want to have a lawsuit against us.
Right. So this is your place.
La, 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 la. Nar.
Yeah. This is, so you bought this house. This is the one in Winter Haven. Yeah. So tell us what happened.
Well, okay, so we closed online.
Oh.
And we did all the signing and everything actually in Fort Myers.
Oh.
And then for the weekend, I came up here with some stuff, all ready to, we had 2 cars back then. Now we're a 1-car family now that we're retired.
Of course.
Even though the wife was talking about going to work at Disney World. But I came up here with the first load in my car.
Mm-hmm.
Walked in, there are still soda cans all around the house. There's like trim leaning up against the kitchen sink. And it was just a disaster. The washer, not the washer, but the dishwasher wasn't even hooked up, couldn't even wash dishes.
Wow.
And it was just like, did you even go through this house before you let us close? You know, what? Because, you know, there was a few little things that still needed to be fixed when we did our walkthrough, like, about a couple days before.
Right.
But, you know, you think everything was kind of fixed and it'd be nice and pretty. And it was, I got right on the phone and I raised all sorts of cane. And
Good.
they actually had people there within the hour.
Good.
You know, cleaning it up a little bit, but still, I hate to say this, but it's almost like, and there's nothing against those people, you know, they have manpower where you go and you sign up and then, you know, people say, we need people.
Right. Oh, you mean temporary workers. Yeah.
Manpower, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
I even told them, I said, I think you got every one of your contractors, you know, you just went down, found people and bodies and said, okay, today you're a painter. Okay, today you're laying drywall. I don't think, I don't know, maybe it's everywhere in the world, but it seems like Florida anymore. And I talked to someone else and they said, no, it's everywhere now. You just can't get good people to do good work anymore.
I think you're right. And I think that speaks to all the stuff that's been happening in the world. But yeah, people now, they don't care. It was sad, but true that people don't just care like they used to about doing a good job.
And I even said this when we walked out when we did our walkthrough. The guy took no notes, you know, and I'm thinking, this guy didn't take any notes. He can't remember all the things that we saw. Guess what? He didn't remember a one.
Well, you would think, I mean, even if you don't, well, I can't speak to that, but you would think even if you didn't take notes, it's like, okay, we need to send somebody back to this house and just look around. Cause like you said, most of it was obvious, just junk laying around and needing cleanup. And of course, a dishwasher not hooked up. Who knows? I mean, how did you find out that didn't work? Did you try it the first night?
I didn't know the first day. It wasn't until, you know, we did dishes and
right.
We're still dirty and we're going, something's not right here.
Right.
Tried it again and something's not right here. It's not like getting any. So yeah, we finally figured out it was getting no water.
Wow. But again, all of this goes back to the fact that people they don't care. They just don't care. And
this house that we're moving into is a new build.
Okay.
So I'm hoping it's a different builder.
Okay.
So I'm hoping,
fingers crossed. Yes.
These people are a little better than the people that the people that built this one.
Well, you'll report on that when the time comes in December or whenever you're moving in or whatever.
I know what, I'll say their name now so people can write this down.
Oh, there you go. We have nothing but wonderful things to say about
D.R. Horton at the moment.
D.R. Horton Homes. There you go.
And here's something else strange when you get a new building or a new house.
Yes.
It seems like they have insurance companies that you go through. They have mortgage companies. And I'll admit this is something good. I think it's good. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's trickery involved in it too. But we went with the very same company that the builder works with as far as insurance.
Oh, okay.
But, I also, got a quote from my local insurance person.
You're talking about for like homeowners insurance, the basic stuff. Yeah.
And this is someone that I've known over the years. They're actually still in Fort Myers.
Right.
So it's a good company. We've used them and they've always been fair. The insurance is through the same company provider.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like about $80 a month cheaper.
Which way?
Lower. I mean, the one through the builder is actually lower.
Oh, okay. So if you use their insurance, it's $80 a month. Wow. That's.
Well, I don't know. Wait. Okay. I don't know what it is, but I was quoted $1,010 a year.
Right.
And if I go through the company, it was like $780.
Oh, well, that's not, that's
I don't know what that
that's
is.
$300 or $400 difference. So divided by 12, that's whatever. But still, $300 or $400 a year in your pocket, that buys a lot of adult beverages or pizza.
I can use them after this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And,
So you're still on
also-
track to move in December.
Yes, still on
Cool.
track as of this moment anyway.
Cool.
I'm just worried we're going to sell this right away. And, retired people, not all, but a lot of retired people pay cash
Yes.
when they buy a place. We basically came in here and paid cash for this place.
Yes.
Now, the other place is not going to be so lucky because it costs more money than this place. But, like we get a cash offer. Our realtor said they may want to close like within 14 days. And we'll be sitting here like, oh, now where are we going to go?
And now you're going to be homeless for a while.
Yeah. But we got 2 kids and we have friends. Well, actually, I got kinfolk from Indiana who own a place in Zolfo Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And they've already said we can go crash out there. I says, yeah, we'll be squatters because we actually have a key because of, like when the hurricane, we can go down there and check in on it every once in a while.
Right.
So I said, yeah, we can just be squatters. We got a key. We'll just go down there and you won't even know we're there.
Perfect. That's perfect. Well, yeah, that's as a friend of mine says, that's an HQP. That's a high quality problem. I mean, what's the worst that happens? Oh, darn, we sold our house. Cool. Yeah. You want that to happen because you don't want to be hanging on. Of course, nowadays with the way the real estate market is, it's like I used to, a friend of mine was shopping for a house. It's slowed down a little now, but a friend of mine had been shopping for a house about 16, 18 months ago in Sarasota and Venice, Florida, down just north of Fort Myers where we were at. And we used to joke that when you looked on the real estate site, like Zillow or Redfin or whatever, they would always have that little note down at the bottom that said on Zillow for 14 days or on, whatever, how long the listing had been there. And we thought that if there was a time, again, 16 months ago, where that was in hours. I mean, it wasn't in days anymore. It was like, we've been on Zillow for 6 hours. You better hurry up because somebody's going to buy this today. And
back to my daughter, because she's also getting a new place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were talking about that.
And she was, looking for a used home, actually in the beginning. But this is probably not a full year, but maybe 9 months ago.
Right.
She would see something that she liked. She would make a bid on it. And they'd always say, oh, they're taking bids until, like 3 or 4 days later.
Right.
And they would even tell her, you better make a bid over asking price. And so she would. And she still never got any of these homes.
Wow. Yeah.
So finally she just said, let me, check into this. And it was actually, a lot easier to do, although it took her probably 9 months to get into this home. But, at least she, and actually what's really funny, because, it's in a community that it's basically just getting started.
Right.
So her unit that she's buying has already, as far as the new units that are being built or you would buy now, is probably $20,000 to $40,000 more than what she locked her price in at.
Absolutely. It is still pretty crazy out there. Pretty crazy. So yeah, real estate. I mean, this friend that actually ended up buying a place in Venice, they paid cash and made it's like the house, here's the house. We're taking offers until, tomorrow night or whatever. And they're like, oh no, we'll make an offer right now. And oh, by the way, it's cash. And that gets real estate agents' attention. That's like, oh,
yes.
Ooh, no need to finance. You just write the check. Yes.
That's what our realtor told us.
Yeah.
That, she will, as soon as we get an offer, she will talk to the lenders and everything else. Is this a quality person? Right. Is it a good chance they're going to get the loan? And she goes, I'll find that out within a day or two. And then we can just move on if that's the case.
Right.
But now,
so here we are talking. Welcome to the BJ and Bill Real Estate Show. It's awesome.
And we know nothing about real estate.
Nothing. We know nothing about real estate. But here we are just going off on it like we're some kind of experts.
Now, I also, you and I both have friends in Fort Myers still because we were there for so many years.
Yes.
A young lady who I'm thinking probably lost everything she had because, she lived in Fort Myers, or maybe she was renting and that house is no longer, worthy of living in. And she was posting she was showing homes and the prices of what rent was for these homes.
Ooh.
And she was showing one that it wasn't a dump, but I mean, it was nothing to write home to mama about.
Right.
And it was like $2,500 a month.
I wouldn't be surprised because just imagine, and we've talked about this before. I mean, if you've seen any of the pictures of Fort Myers and especially Fort Myers Beach, which was basically wiped out. I mean, there's just, thousands and thousands and thousands of people who probably have nothing, no more home to live in anymore. And so anywhere that's available for living in that's, meets code is probably going to be jacked up. And it's sad, but it's kind of the way things work out there. It's like supply and demand.
If you worked in Fort Myers all your life,
yeah, and
all of a sudden you're homeless and you don't want to leave the area, you love the area, you love the people, and it's just, I don't know, it's just, I guess I can say I'm glad I'm not in that position right now, but people, and my son, he keeps saying too, even though he has a hole in his roof, he lost so much stuff as far as wind damages with trees and stuff.
Right.
And he will say to me every time, I feel very lucky and blessed that all that happened to me is what happened to me.
Right. Exactly. My ex-wife also still in Fort Myers, still same thing as your son. In fact, she lives about 5 miles from your son. Same thing. It's like, it was bad. It was terrible. But again, lucky and blessed that it was only what it was for them. Now, of course, depending on where you were at in Southwest Florida, it could be worse, it could be better. But yeah, depending on where you were at. So I hear you. I totally get it. So,
and again, I think the Florida, going back to our real estate show, I think the Florida market, not just in Southwest Florida where the hurricane hit, but like even Central Florida here, I think this will remain a hot market just due to the fact so many people are, moving here. And like a lot of places, I think maybe the market will slow down. Right. I think the market here in Florida will probably remain hot and steady.
I'm sure you're right.
Our realtor, which kind of scares me in a way, because again, we were talking about having to sell before we, moved into another location,
right.
The new one. She says, I doubt this house will be on the market for more than 2 weeks.
Oh, that was
her prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes, not surprising, just not surprising as fast as things go. And I've looked at some stuff. I don't know where the heck I want to live, but I'm in Gainesville now. And actually I'm not in Gainesville at the moment. We can talk about that later on, that I'm still on the road, but yes, my apartment is in Gainesville, and I have looked at other, places to buy in that area as well. Same thing. They're on the market for a couple, 3 weeks, and that's it. It just so fast. It's crazy. But that's because absolutely everybody, if you can sell your house, if you are lucky enough to sell your house in New York or Chicago or Cleveland or Philadelphia or wherever, and come down to Florida, like the thousands of other people who are doing it, you need a place to live. And guess what? Here's one at a pretty crazy price. So good luck with that.
Yeah. Some people were saying because of the big hurricane that went through Southwest Florida, they thought, Florida people won't want to come. People will be moving away. There will be some people obviously that lived in Southwest Florida that lost everything.
Yeah.
They will move away.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the rest of the state that, wasn't affected that bad.
Right.
I think people are still coming down, and I could be wrong, but I still think they're coming in groves. The tax rate in New York, they say that a lot of people are even moving to Florida from California because their tax rates are so high out there.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. California is insane. So if you have a story you'd like to share here, how's this for a clever little plug here? If you have a story or whatever, or if you're new to the neighborhood or whatever, feel free to get in touch and let us know how it's going. You can join us on our Facebook page at BJ and Bill Podcast. Just do a search on BJN, and it's spelled out AND, BJAND Bill Podcast, or bjnbillpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us an email and we'll check on that, and we'll, do a few stories online for if you're moving into town, if you're moving out of town, if you're moving into Florida, out, whatever. There's a hilarious, I don't know if you've seen it, and it's more it's more based on politics than it is on just real estate. But there's a hilarious series of 3 or 4 videos on YouTube making the rounds about a California couple moving to Texas to get out of California. And very cute interracial couple. She's they're both kind of snowflakes and getting to Texas, and the culture shock. And she's driving her Prius into, Dallas or something. I don't even know where in Texas. And the neighbor comes over and he's super nice and he's wearing his cowboy hat and he's introducing himself, and he turns to go in the door, and he's wearing his 6-shooter on his side, but he's wearing his gun, and the girl just totally freaks out. And it's like, oh my God. Anyway, go look them up. It's hilarious stuff. And they get invited to a barbecue, and she's like, do you have any vegan options? And they're like, what? So anyway, that's my little plug for people moving around the country nowadays.
Now, this was a few months ago, even before the hurricane, but if you live in Florida, and most people that don't even live in Florida know the name of the Polk County Sheriff, where we happen to live nowadays. His name is Grady Judd.
Okay.
And he actually said one time, I know a lot of people are moving down here from California and New York. And if you don't like our way of politics, you can just stay where you are.
I remember, and literally it was more than 40 years ago, easily more than 40 years ago, when I first moved to Fort Myers, and I went to get either my driver's license or whatever, at the Lee County office, some little itty bitty office at the time, of course. And of course, even then, 45 years ago, they had the sign on the wall that said there'll be a $5 fine for telling us how you did things up north. So, yeah. So it's like, you're coming to Florida. Don't expect it to be like New York or California or anywhere else. You're coming to Florida. Hello.
And it depends on where you move in Florida. Like if you move south and you're along the coast, either coast, the ocean or the Gulf Coast, it's kind of like a melting pot with a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into the middle of the state,
yes,
and the northern part of the state, don't be surprised if you move and they say, you ain't from around here, are you, boy?
No, where I'm at is very, very, it's the South. It's, you think, oh, it's Florida. No, it's like Georgia, Alabama. It's the South where I'm at, so. And that's fine. I love that. It's cool. It's super cool. But it is funny that, you'll talk to some people and it's, wow, you've lived in, Gainesville all your life, because that's a really like a Georgia accent, something like that. It's cool either way. By the way, for those of you who care, this weekend, Florida-Georgia football game, nothing bigger, it's just crazy. But that's by the time you listen to this podcast, it'll probably already be past. So hopefully, go Gators. I have to say that.
Go Gators, but I think it'll end about as well as Tom Brady and the Buccaneers last night on Thursday.
You had
Night
to bring
Football.
that up, didn't you? You had to bring up oh my God. What am I going to do with the Buccaneers with Tom Brady? That offense is it's broken. It's just like that offense is broken. I don't understand it. And here I am. If you're not watching on Zoom like Mr. BJ and I, but I'm wearing my Cleveland Browns
t-shirt. Browns t-shirt.
I think they have the same record. The Browns might have a better record at this point. I don't know, but it's like, what kind of insane, Stranger Things world are we living in? I don't know. It's insane.
That's like the Warriors also in basketball. I'm a big Warriors and Lakers fan. They're both starting out. Well, the Warriors
have the Lakers won a game yet? Have the Lakers won a game yet?
They won one, I know.
Okay. All right.
But
insane.
I think LeBron and Tom Brady are both saying the same thing. We should have retired last year. We'd have been better off if we would have been
better off. Yeah.
At least, I don't know about LeBron, but at least Tom Brady, if he had retired last year and stayed retired, at least he might still be married.
Yes, that is such an interesting story that kind of broke all at once, that it was like during training camp that Tom had to take personal days or something like that. And he's after this. And I heard last night, if you watch the terrible game last night on Amazon Prime, they also talked about he went to the wedding of the owner of the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft. He took some time off to go to that wedding or something like that, and he was a guest. Just craziness. And I'm like, is his head still in the game, or is he already thinking ahead to retirement, or what he's going to do when he's?
Well, he knows what he's going to do when he retires. That's why I would do it too. He's going to be a sports analyst for, I don't know what network for sure. I can't remember.
Whoever has the biggest checkbook. Yeah, whoever pays the most.
Yeah, he's going to make millions of dollars doing that. So, but I don't know. He's got to be, with everything going on. And, I've went through a divorce.
We all have.
And I don't think of course, I never played football.
You were never as good looking as Tom Brady was either. I'm sorry. I got to tell you.
I know that I had, probably 6 months to a year that my head wasn't in the game.
Right. I would say I remembering back to my own divorce. I'm sure that's the same for everybody. It's such a change in the way of life that you kind of have to regroup and resettle and everything. And so then you're maybe back, maybe not. Takes a while. Sure.
Yeah. So, like I said, I told the story in an earlier episode how I became a Buccaneers fan, and I will remain a Buccaneers fan, but it ain't looking good for the home team this season. I know you said you watched it. I did not watch last night, but now I heard also they might put, what's his name? Trask or what he used to be the Gators football.
Kyle Trask. Yeah, Kyle Trask.
Did he get any? Because they were talking
about
not.
He did not play a minute last night, and because it was, I got to admit that up until midway through the fourth quarter, it was close. It wasn't like one of the past games where they scored 3 points in the whole thing. It was close, and so it was like, okay, we got a chance. We're in it. We're whatever. And then just the offense is flat. Is just there's no excitement at all, and I don't know what the answer is, but I'm open to giving Trask a shot at it. Who knows?
I did read a report today that Brady, and he does not like to be tackled or sacked. No. But he has been sacked more than any other quarterback in the NFL so far this year.
Yeah, that they showed that stat last night that he overtook Ben Roethlisberger of Pittsburgh, but that's a function of time in the game. Like, he's been playing for 20 plus years. So if you're in the game, if you've played 20 years of football games as a quarterback, you're going to get sacked a lot. Even if it's only once a game or not even.
Oh, I thought they were talking about
going to add up. What's that?
I thought they were talking about this season when I heard it. But maybe I'm wrong, because I glance at stuff. You read articles. I glance at articles.
Well, now I can't. So I don't know. It might also be this season. I don't know that. But the stat that they quoted last night was all time. And in the course of the game last night, he passed Ben Roethlisberger for all-time sacks in a career. So, yeah, you're right. He doesn't like to get sacked. Doesn't happen all that often, knock on wood, but it still does.
Well, and if you're not a Buccaneer fan, you're probably not a Tom Brady fan at all. Because I know when he played for the Patriots, was never a Tom Brady fan. I would always wish he would lose, and when he would, I would have a big old smile on his face.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he's playing for our Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where that's why I said I thought I'd never be able to root for this guy. But hey,
that's right.
He's with the Bucs now, so there is probably a majority of people going, "Yeah, way to go, Tom."
But you're absolutely right. I mean, that's how sports works. I mean, the guy that was your arch nemesis, your hated rival last year, gets traded to your team. Oops, gotta love him now. So you do. It's fine. You just learn to adapt. It's okay. You learn to adapt. Oh man, we got to find something else. In fact, let's take a quick break. Just a quick reminder: if you do want to get into, share your football stories, share your real estate stories. Doesn't matter. BJ and Bill Podcast at gmail.com, or look us up on Facebook at BJ and Bill Podcast. How's that? We'll be right back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
At the Home Depot, we have the tools to make your holiday magic in the easiest way possible. With our easy-to-assemble artificial trees, you can have a fully shaped, realistic tree up in your house within minutes. And you know your holiday look wouldn't be complete without our classic animated Santa that collapses for easy storage. Get free delivery on over 2 million eligible items, and you can spread holiday cheer to the whole neighborhood easily. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Welcome back to the BJ and Bill podcast. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And we've covered real estate. We covered football. Boy, we've hit those pretty hard. What else is happening in your life these days?
Not my life, but we talk a lot of radio here because we were both radio people.
Yes.
And I don't know if you know what he's famous for besides being a disc jockey in New York, but today on his show, Scott Shannon of WCBS announced his retirement.
Wow. Well, I do know and remember Scott Shannon. I mean, I never met the man, but if you're in the radio business, it's like, yeah, of course, that was one of the biggest names in the business for a while there. He's not our age, is he? He's a little younger than we are. I don't remember
for sure.
I don't either.
I met him a couple times back in my top 40 days.
Yeah.
I would go to these radio conventions and he would be there.
Okay.
One time it was really funny because, Scott Shannon is a big name. And I had a friend of mine that I worked with at a small station said, "Oh, Scott Shannon and I, we talk all the time. We're good friends." And I'm thinking, this guy is just a blowhard. So I go to this convention and we're together, me and him. I mean, not together, but
right.
We're both going to the same convention. And so Scott Shannon's standing over there and he goes, "Oh, here, you want to meet Scott?" And I go, "Okay, let's go." I figured we'd go over there and he'd say, "Hey, I figured that'd be the first time you ever met him or maybe the second time in his life."
Right.
"Oh, Bob, how you doing, man? It's great to see you." And I'm like, my mouth just goes, it opens up right away.
Okay. And by the way, I zoomed over to Google while you were talking there. Scott Shannon is 75 years old.
Oh, he is older than us.
He is 75 years old. I'm like, holy cow. So, well, good for him. I mean, if you're doing the mornings and you're still getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning at 75 years old, you're a better man than I am.
I don't know, though. And I don't, he was famous for starting the first zoo. That's what he's famous for, at least in my eyes, because the zoo format, that's where, wild, wacky DJs started doing wild, wacky stuff in the morning. He actually started the zoo in Tampa at Q105.
Mm-hmm.
And a good friend of mine, in fact, if we ever met him at a convention and you were with me, you'd think, "Oh man, this guy doesn't know nobody." But Cleveland Wheeler used to be his morning show host.
Famous country DJ. Yes.
No, he actually, was with Shannon in top 40.
Oh, okay.
But I think he has worked country. And I almost had a chance to do a morning show with him. I was so excited.
Wow.
But just, it never worked out. I mean, he acted like he was excited about doing the show with me, but maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I met with him and I met with the program director, but
he acted like he was excited.
I didn't get the call back. Let's just say that.
Wait. This is kind of like every girlfriend BJ has ever had. She acts like she's excited.
She acts like she's excited, but I don't get the call back.
I'm sorry. Oh, your spouse. Hopefully Susan doesn't hear that one. We'll cut that. We'll scrub that one. No, we won't. That's staying in the show. And when your wife hears it, I'm in trouble. But it's okay. It's okay.
Now, which direction were we veering off? But I just want to mention that about Scott.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, Scott Shannon retiring at 75 years old. God bless him.
Well, that was it. And you said, God bless him.
Yep.
We're still waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do a morning show.
Yes.
Now, you are a few years younger than me.
Just a couple.
And I don't know why, but it seems like and it might be just stress of moving, going in debt not a lot, but a little bit with this new house move, but still it's going in debt, which I've been debt free basically for the last 10 years.
Awesome.
So I'm a little nervous, but I know my brother used to tell me this all the time. He would wake up like at 4 o'clock in the morning and he just could not go to sleep. And I remember when we did mornings, I woke up at 4 and I could have stayed in bed, till noon.
Right.
My alarm
Now, wait,
clock.
your brother, you're talking about your brother, the farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4 o'clock in the morning, probably normal for him.
Yeah, but 4 o'clock in the morning was normal for us too. All those
Yes, it
years
was.
we did mornings.
Yeah. For 25 years, my alarm went off at 4:10 a.m. And yes, you're right. Every one of those mornings, I could have rolled over, hit the snooze button or the turn off button and slept for another several hours.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And another friend of mine, Tom Drake,
Yes.
he's a couple years older than me.
Yep.
And he says, and he used to be an entertainer. Well, he's still an entertainer. He's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And, us comedians, when I was a comedian, if I got to bed by 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought I was doing a pretty decent job.
Right.
But he says also his alarm goes off like not alarm, but his brain alarm,
His mental alarm. Yes.
goes off like at 4 a.m. and he
Wow.
cannot go back to sleep.
Wow. Really?
So I don't know if that's something about, being a little over 65, but this has hit me in the last couple of weeks. But yet it still could be because I do seem to like my brain starts when I wake up.
Right.
Okay, we're going in debt. I got to worry about this.
Right.
Got to worry about selling the house.
Got
Maybe
things on
that
your
is
mind.
it because I used to be able to sleep till my average time of waking up was between 8:30 and 9:30.
Right.
I
Right.
usually go to bed around 11:30, unless the Warriors were playing basketball or the Lakers out on the West Coast. Then I wouldn't go to bed till about 1.
So I have heard, and I'm not a scientist and I don't play one on TV, but I've heard that as you get older, you need a little less sleep or your brain gets up, or I don't know what it is. I think your sleep patterns change. Now, having said that, I'll tell you that I'm still a night owl, that it's very rare, not rare, that my average getting to bedtime is like between midnight and 1 a.m. almost every night. And I'll sleep, until I'll get 8 hours easy. I'm up at 9 or 10, usually later, towards 10 rather than 9 o'clock, pretty much every day. And I keep telling myself, boy, that doesn't seem right. You should probably be in, like my friend BJ or whatever, you should probably be in bed at 11 o'clock, get your 8 hours, get up at 7 or 8 o'clock or whatever. And I can't do it. I shouldn't say can't. My body doesn't like getting to bed that early. It feels like I'm still watching TV. There's still, like you said, there's a game on or something to watch from out west, or I'm reading or whatever, or watching that last YouTube video or something. And it's like 1 o'clock every time I look at the darn clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. Here we go again. Oh, well, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I live by myself. No kids, no spouse, no pets, no nothing. I can snooze anytime I want. Maybe that's my thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just really weird because it seems like because I have one of those Apple Watches or whatever,
Yes.
and it tells you how much you slept. And I
Mhm.
used to sleep like between 7 and 8 hours every night. Now it's telling me I'm sleeping like about 5.5, 6 hours every night
Oh, really?
for the last 2 weeks.
Just in the last 2 weeks, though.
Yeah. So is it stress from the move, or have I hit that point in my life where I'm old enough to go, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I just can't get back to sleep. I get up to do my little stand-up job.
Yeah. Pit stop. I always say, yes, I hear you.
And I head back to bed and I just lay there. But my brain does.
Your brain starts going.
Starts swirling a little bit. And I go.
Your brain
okay,
gets
now-
cranking, and it's like, I did that this morning. I was like lying in bed. It's like, okay, my body's telling me it needs a pit stop. My brain's, I could roll over and I could try to sleep some more. And now I'm up. What the heck? Let's just get up. What the hell? And so there I am. But I totally get it. And again, maybe that's a function of getting old. Maybe that's a function. I don't know. I don't know. We need to get
I
a
am
sleep scientist
67
on
now.
the-
You're 65, right?
65.
So if you're 67 or above and you have that problem, please, send us an email, bjandbill@gmail.com. That's
Tell us your
BJ and
story.
Bill podcast. I'm sorry.
Right.
BJ and Bill podcast @gmail.com, and is AND.
Right.
And let me know if I might as well expect this the rest of my life now.
Here, call your buddy Scott Shannon. Well, he's still getting up at the time of the morning. So, and that's, I will admit that after 25 years of the alarm going off at 4:10 a.m., I don't ask why it was 4:10. I don't know why it was the odd number, but it was.
At least it wasn't 4:20.
That's right. Which I would have been getting up at 4:20 before 4:20 was a thing.
Oh,
But getting up at 4:00 for 20 plus years, when that ended, and there was a time when I was in Arizona when I was working afternoons for a while, so I didn't have to get up for a morning show. But when the whole radio thing ended, when I when I was done with radio, I literally told myself, I am not ever getting up with an alarm ever again, unless it's like I'm, got to catch a flight or something like that. And I think I convinced myself and convinced my body that it's okay to sleep for as long as you want. And sometimes that's like 10 hours a night or something. It's crazy. And I can still do that sometimes, although not as much. So I don't know. If it's age, if it's your mind going off, I don't know what it is. But yeah, if anybody's got any stories about that or has experiences to share, we'd be glad to hear them.
Yeah, because I hope I don't do this for the rest of my life. Wake up at 4. But now I will tell you this: when my morning day radio days were over,
Right.
I still woke up just automatically around 4:00, because that's when I woke up, to go do the morning show.
Are you talking
So
like
my
on Saturdays
body
and
actually
Sundays?
kept waking me up at 4, probably for the next few months, maybe 2,
Right.
3, 4 months at the most. But then I learned I don't have to get up 4:00 in the morning.
How about on the weekends? Did you get up because you did it 5 days a week? Did your body still get up at like 4:00 in the morning on Saturdays and Sundays?
Oh no, I'd sleep till noon because you remember a lot of times when our show was on, there was the Fun Cruise, which was a
right.
cruise ship that I did some part-time stuff on, and so I was out till 1:00 in the morning. I did some stand-up comedy. I would be home by 1 or 2, So I had those nights, but when Friday and Saturday night, Saturday and Sunday, obviously, because those were the days I could
Right.
sleep. I slept.
You slept. Did you ever? Now, when we got up early in the morning, did you take a nap during the day when you got home?
Some days I did, some days I didn't.
Yeah, there was a span of many years where that was my style, where I would, because I was married at the time, and we would go to bed at the usual 11 o'clock or whatever. So I'd get it's only 5 hours of sleep or less. And so I would get home, after you and I would do the show, I'd get home, at noon or whatever. And, my spouse was still doing her 9 to 5 thing. So I would take a nap almost every weekday in the afternoon. And so I used to tell people, I get 8 hours of sleep. It's just in 2 chunks.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
A lot of morning radio personalities do that.
Yeah. And it worked for me for a lot of years. It really, I guess it did. I'm still here. I haven't, had a heart attack or anything, or still whatever. I don't whatever that means. I don't know. So anyway, there you go. Sleep patterns. Yay. Sleep is my favorite thing.
I have another another computer iPhone.
Oh my gosh, another computer question. Jeez, what is it? Do I have to start charging you? Do I have to send an invoice here after the show?
No, we're doing this show. This is show prep. Well, my computers and my phone mess up for show prep.
I get it. Okay, it's all in the name of putting on a funny show. Go for it. What do you got?
So I got the latest update for my iPhone.
Yes.
And now when I open an email, let me find one. Probably none of them will do it now because I just went through all my emails. But I will get a note, comes up in red, load content. Like if it has pictures.
Oh, yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
I now have to push, where before it would always just load it all.
Oh, and
now
this
I got to
is
push a
using
button
the
that says
Yeah.
load content.
right. So this is the iPhone
13
regular
I have.
email program. In other words, you're not using any fancy other third party.
Well, I am using. I have the Norton,
Right.
and so
Yeah, but
Norton
that
is-
doesn't. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Now I'm looking, as you and I talk, I'm kind of looking for an answer here because I don't know that one entirely, but it is a setting. I believe it is a setting in whatchamacallit on your iPhone that will allow you to automatically do that. Now I got my iPhone in front of me. Now you're going to make me look here, aren't you? So, all right, hang on, folks, while we do a little tech support right here on the BJ and Bill podcast. So stand by. All right, if I go to mail, if I go in settings and I go to mail, search cell data accounts, preview, no.
So you go to mail.
Yeah, I'm in mail through.
I guess we could always do this off air, but
We could, but the hell with it. We're here now. So I'll have to look that up because I know what you're talking about because, yeah. And the reason for that is sometimes you can, I mean, that's how sometimes, I'm not going to say always, sometimes that's how a virus or a bad, bit of software is transferred to you as as an attachment to an email. Now, pictures are usually, again, I should never say never, but pictures are usually not a problem. So you can automatically load that. But if somebody sends you a document or a spreadsheet or something like that, yeah, you probably want it to not automatically download that. So I'll have to check on that for you, Mr. Odom. Thank you for coming to the Apple Store today. There you go. I love
all
that.
right, you just basically did a segue
Oh, I did.
into my next subject matter.
iPhone,
genius.
iPad. What's that?
Nope, I said you're a genius because it was an automatic just segue.
I accept.
Like whenever you get a computer or you sign a document, like, we're signing lots of documents via, where you just push the button and your
Oh, online. Yes.
signature shows up.
Yes.
Now, nobody reads the terms of service.
Nobody ever reads the TOS,
What?
terms of service.
What are those service? I wonder what all it says. I don't know. I got to give up my son for my firstborn. I don't know, but I always just go to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep,
Accept.
I agree.
Scroll down 30 pages, accept. A friend of mine, years ago, a friend of mine also in the computer business used to say that was what he called the liquor cabinet clause. He says somewhere buried at like page number 15, item Q, is the fact that we can enter your house at any time, steal all your booze, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, but yeah, if it's all basically to say that you are using this device and this software and it's all on you. And if this thing, kidnaps your firstborn or, steps on your cat's tail, that it's not our fault, that it's all on you. And they have 30 pages of legality. I mean, I'm making up 30 pages, but it's probably not, if you printed it out, it's probably 10, 20, 30 pages of just legal garbage to say that none of this is our fault, that you use all of this and it's all on you. That's all I know. Sometimes it'll be like if there's a refund policy, you have 30 days to blah, blah, blah. It's all on you.
And if this is you, that I know you don't do it, but if this is you listening today and you do this, I will apologize before I say what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh. Oh boy.
But the way you do, you hit the little, I accept, the terms and agreement of
Yes.
using this particular device.
You scroll down to the bottom quickly. Nobody reads it. You hit the button. I accept.
And same way, when you go, when you start a Facebook page, it's another million pages and you say, yep, I accept.
Yep.
These people, and I love you all because I've seen it on my Facebook feed so many times, but it's never the person that's doing it. They're sharing it or they're copying from somebody else.
Right.
But I forbid Facebook to use my likeness or my pictures or my thoughts in any other. No, that's not going to work. And you're wasting your time doing that. And hey, let me tell you what, when you did that thing in the beginning, like we said, the terms of service,
Yep.
it probably said they can use anything they want off of your page.
There's no probably, Mr. Odom. It specifically says that anything you post on Facebook is the property of Facebook. Now, it's also yours. If I post a personal picture, if I post a picture of BJ and Bill, going out on the town some night or whatever, okay, cool. That's yours. But Facebook looks at that picture and goes, oh, that's a great picture. Now they'd never do that with BJ and Bill, would they? They do it with some Hooters girls or something. And they would take that picture and use it somewhere in their advertising or marketing or whatever. And you're going, hey, that's mine. No, you gave up your rights to it legally 100% when you clicked, as BJ says, you scrolled down and clicked that accept button. That's somewhere on those pages. It says, this is our stuff now. Sorry, kids. You can't take it back. So
and
yes.
You can't copy an email that says, I do not allow Facebook to use any likeness or picture of me.
I've seen those and I laugh. I laugh at them a lot because somewhere there's a Facebook lawyer that says, that's not even worth my time. Not even worth my time to respond to, because read the TOS, the terms of service. It's all in there, kids. It's all in there. So, yeah.
So don't waste your time anymore, because BJ Odom will look at your Facebook page if you're my friend and I'll go, I can't believe they did that.
Right.
Another one that gets me too, and I understand why they do this one, but like a lot of people on Facebook will say, and it happens all the time.
What's that?
I got hacked.
Oh, yeah.
Do not friend me because I have not started another Facebook.
Right.
You're not really hacked.
No.
You're cloned.
Yes. Because I can look on Facebook and see all my friends. I can find, BJ Odom and steal his pictures. I mean, how hard is it? Right click, save as, right click, save as. And then I go and I start another Facebook account with another email address or whatever. And I put all those pictures in there, all those BJ Odom pictures or whatever. And voila, there I am. I'm BJ Odom all over again. So yeah, no, you're not being hacked, but like BJ said, you are being cloned. It's kind of a pain. I mean, I've seen that. I've gotten friend requests, not from you, but from other people who I knew that I was already friends with. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to bother with that because it's not even the same. So there you go.
Of course, you probably run around with a higher intelligent crowd than I do. I've had people send me a message or talk to me and said, I have a new Facebook page because I can't get my password and I can't remember how to get in. So I had to start a new page.
And I understand that because, people don't always remember. And someday we'll do a lesson on passwords here on the show. But yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, stuff gets stolen, borrowed, hacked, call it whatever you want, all the time. So and it's not just on Facebook, by the way. We got a few minutes. I got a good final story here. I'm a single guy, as you know. I have been known to be on a couple of online dating sites here and there. Nothing wrong with that. Millions of people do it. And I'm scrolling through all of my potential matches or however they line, everybody's got their own, version of swipe left, swipe right, whatever. And I did it, and I came across a picture of a lady that I knew from a network marketing business. She was in a network marketing company that I was a part of years ago. And it was obviously it was a different name, same picture, different name. And I went, oh my God, obviously not. And so on Facebook, I Facebook messengered the lady and I'm saying, I know you're happily married with kids in college and all of this because I see your posts on Facebook, right? That's still happening, right? You're still married, right? And she's like, yeah, Bill, why do you ask? And I sent her the screenshot of the page on the dating site that said, well, apparently somebody, is using and she's like, oh my God, turn them in, report them, whatever. So I did. I mean, I'm sure it probably doesn't make a darn bit of difference, but again, it's just like, online I hate to say it, but anything is possible online. You could get an email from somebody or a message or a Facebook page or a friend request or a whatever. Just please, folks, just be careful out there. Just be careful out there.
And speaking of the gram real quick, I don't know how much
Oh,
time
the
we got
gram.
left
Yes.
in today's show.
Yeah, I was done with my
I'll
story.
get this all the time. I don't know why I get it,
What?
but I'll get like Zsa Boo Boo or something like that wants to be my friend.
Yes.
And then if you like friend these people, because you can always tell by first go to their pictures on the gram.
Yes.
And if they're in skivvies, barely clothed,
Yes.
after you accept them, you'll then get a message from them saying, you can go to my website,
Oh, yeah.
www.da-da-da-da-da-da,
Oh, yeah.
and see more of myself revealed.
BJ, I'm shocked and surprised that you would actually have friends like that. I know you don't. I know. It's okay.
I friend them all. No,
I know.
but you know what else was now? You talked about, I don't know if you talked about it or not, my picture on the gram from last night.
Yeah, I mentioned right at the top of the show that the very top thing on my Instagram feed was BJ and his spouse there standing in front of their house with the for sale sign.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Shoot. If I have to do something quick
On the
online
phone
or with a
Not
phone,
happening.
I push the wrong apps.
It's not happening.
I do everything wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do, that's not that. See,
On the gram.
I did it again.
Uh-oh.
But what it is, there's a message on that picture
Uh-oh.
from somebody that says, like, you look like you have lots of positive energy.
Oh, really?
I would like to do a reading with you.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, that's a new one for me. I've heard them say they want to send me nudie pictures, but I never heard anybody say, I would like to do a reading on you.
That is a weird one. That really is. All right. So I'm going to go to I can see your pictures. If I go to your pictures, it does have comments, but I don't think they're.
You can't.
Oh,
read them?
yeah. Look at that. You did.
I have
Hello,
positive energy, Bill.
Hello, comma. You interested in a psychic reading? I took a lot of energy from your picture. Should I be reading this? Is this?
You can
are we
read it.
breaking
Yeah,
any
I
rules?
don't care.
Took a lot of energy from your picture with little star emoji, and I would like to give you some insight. Let me know if you're interested. Wow. Wow, that's bizarre. Well, it's not bizarre. I mean, it is what it is. So I clicked through. The person who posted that comment for you has 1,200 followers, but is only following 387 person. And her listing says astrologist and psychics. So in the first two words, she's misspelled them both.
Looks like her psychic powers would let her know that.
You would think that her spiritual, psychic, or spell check powers would let her know that. Wow. Okay, that's weird, but it's not the weirdest thing I've seen on the gram. That's for sure. My thing is, I mean, just a couple of minutes left here, but I follow a lot of financial people. I do a lot of, I don't do a lot of, but I'm interested in stuff like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And so if I post something either on the gram or on Facebook or whatever, I am going to get 3 to 5 offers a week of people like, ooh, hey, Bitcoin mining opportunity. Would you like to join? It's only a few, it's like, oh my God, people, stop, and I cut them right off now. I send them a message back to say, not interested in your quote unquote opportunity. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a great day. Don't ever talk to me again.
Now, one time too, and you were just talking about that the lady or whatever that, could be some big fat guy that did it and just said he's a psychic.
Right.
But I had a girl one time on the gram send me a message just berating me because she goes, I see that you are followed by blah, blah, blah people.
Right.
But you only follow like 200 back.
Right.
I think that's very rude that you're not following me. And it's like, go away, child.
Yeah, go away. I mean, go look at, Elon Musk's Twitter following. He's followed by 20 million people and he follows probably less than 100.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't know that, but I mean, that's the way it works.
She berated me in the message she sent.
Wow.
That I was just a terrible person for not following all these people back.
Way to make a good first impression, young lady.
Guess I won't be going to her porn site.
No. Or any other for that matter.
Yeah.
Not that he would ever do that, folks. Not that BJ Odom would ever do that. Maybe.
And then he woke up.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. So go out there and get on the gram. And we're not, BJ and Bill podcast is not on the gram yet. We need to do that. So maybe we will, maybe not. But for now, go to Facebook and do a search for BJ and Bill podcast. And like I said, we've had plenty of things to talk about today, and we'd love to hear your ideas on all kinds of crazy things, especially the sleep thing. That kind of struck a little chord there. BJ and Bill podcast @gmail.com. Feel free to get in touch. So there you go. Final thoughts, Mr. Odom?
Well, make sure you share that. Make sure you share our podcast. The more people listen, this is how this works. I'll let the people know. I'll tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I will be truthful.
Speak it.
The more people that listen and follow our podcast, the more money BJ and Bill make. Because if you hear those commercials,
that's right,
play during our podcast,
yep,
those usually are money makers.
Yes, they are.
We don't go out and sell that. The powers that be that, take care of our podcast, they sell all that stuff, or an agency does or something like that. And also, at the end of our podcast, if a commercial is playing, let it play all the way through, because we'll get more money if you listen to the entire commercial than if you just listen to a few seconds of the commercial.
At least he's honest, folks. At least he's honest. I love that.
Hey, I want to make some money, people. Listen to those commercials.
Absolutely. Just let it play. Just let it play, like you said.
Let it play. Then you can go away.
Yeah, we're good with that. That's all good. That's all.
I didn't yell at Bill, but I says, Bill, because he was putting, music at the end. I go, don't do that. When they hear that music, they turn it off. We want them to at least hear the commercial for a couple seconds. That gives us a chance to make a little bit of money off of it.
That's right. So as you listen to this podcast, as you listen to the finished product, there's no more music at the end. There is at the beginning and in the middle, and there's a commercial in the middle. But yes, please listen all the way through. We love that. We love you for that. Thank you. That's
and share, and share some more.
That's it. So there you go. That's going to do it for this week. Next week, who knows where I'll be? Actually, well, it depends when we record this podcast, but I'll probably be right here. We didn't even talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. Bill's travels, Bill, the exciting adventures of Bill on the road.
And I was told by the higher ups,
yes,
of the BJ and Bill podcast, they want to find a day of the week. I guess it's like a TV show.
Right.
They want to upload us the same day every week, but
we're going to make that happen.
But they haven't decided which day was the best for us, because we never know. We're old. Did we record a podcast yesterday? Oh, we did, and now we need to record one today. Just like Bill said today. Here's the text that I got from Bill the other day.
Right.
We can either do it tomorrow or Friday.
And I sent you that yesterday when tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, I'm a little out of touch.
I think tomorrow is Friday.
I'm old. I'm retired. What do I know? It's okay.
Once you retire, you don't know squat no more.
I think you still know some stuff. You just don't care. You screw it. I don't care. All right, everybody. You have a great week out there, Mr. Odom.
See ya.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from, with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.